So funny thing happened this morning. We have a little dog. She's a Shih Tzu breed named Rosie, and she's gotten very old, so she can't eat normal dog food quite as well as she used to be. So of course our solution is to get her wet dog food that we have to spend a little bit of preparation time before we can serve to her. I'm sure you can already imagine how excited she gets when she knows it's feeding time. She loves this stuff. So anyways, today was just pretty unusual. Today when she saw my sister fixing her food, she got so excited she literally shit herself on the floor in her excitement. I remember the first time I got so excited I dumped. I was merely an infant, I guess you could say. When she pulls out the teat, I excrete. Say, that reminds me of California, the state with the largest number of welfare users and homeless, as well as turd-filled streets. San Francisco. One hell of a segue, isn't it? Yeah, today I wanted to share a quick red pill about what's been happening in the bluest state of the country. A state so blue it rejects moderate liberals in favor of illegals. A state so blue it puts the KKK to shame by constantly, blatantly, and presumptuously insisting that all minorities can't take care of themselves and desperately need our help. Also, white man bad. White people don't need help from anybody. Oh no, not because they're strong and independent enough to create the entirety of Western civilization, but because they're racist and bad and stuff. Meanwhile in China, meanwhile in South Africa, meanwhile in California, are home to genuine racists. Surprisingly, not only against white folk, but against other races as well. As mentioned earlier, the far-left Democratic Party genuinely believe that non-whites are so weak-willed, so weak-minded, that they can't help themselves and need special treatment in every aspect of life. You can't make jokes about them. You can't even tell facts about them. Hell, despite the First Amendment, you can't even be an actual racist. God forbid. Not that it matters to them. Fake racism and real racism are the same in their heads. And people still say we Americans value and uphold the First Amendment to the freedom of speech. I don't know about that one. Meanwhile, the only state that these same people have almost complete control over has been transformed into an actual wasteland. Housing prices so ridiculously high that it leaves almost 70% of its own citizens homeless. Then these same homeless folk begin shitting on the streets because, well, they don't have a place to call home. Some argue that this may have more to do with California's desperate grabbing at any immigrants that they can get their filthy hands on. The reason for this is because in the long run, if you enable homeless and illegal immigrants to vote, then it will guarantee power to anybody who gives these people special privilege over everybody else. It basically guarantees success for them. And we're already seeing pretty good evidence for this. Have you watched the 2020 debates? These people fully understand the environment they're creating and are using said environment to manipulate these same people into voting for these politicians by making vague promises to essentially give them more free things. You know, like what the welfare system does. Linking back to what I said at the very beginning, when the government pulls out the teat, all these people can do is excrete in the streets. Remember this in the upcoming 2020 election. I pray that we all do. Every single American wakes up. Take care, and God bless America.